more.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. The countdown is on to the most vibrant and beautiful celebrations of the season. Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival will be running June 21st and 22nd at a brand new location, Wesley Clover Parks. This free, family-friendly event is packed with culture, music, food, and wonderful traditions, all timed with National Indigenous Peoples Day. Joining us to tell us more is the visionary behind it all, Trina Samard, CEO of Indigenous Experiences. Trina, welcome.
Hello, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming in. So first and foremost, you have changed the location. Tell us all about it.
We have. I'm so excited. We were really happy to have Summer Solstice at our venue at Medow-O'Keefe Farm. But as numbers continued to grow post-COVID, we just knew that we had to find another venue that offered that same, outdoor space, but more parking. So we are at Wesley Clover Parks, just down the road from us, and really excited.
Absolutely. And the event is at both the 21st and the 22nd. So when do the gates open, per se?
Yeah, so we're opening at 9:30 on both days. On the Saturday, because it's National Indigenous Peoples Day, we have a much longer program and event. So we're running till close to 10:30 at night. And Sunday, we're closing up at 5. So a full weekend of programming.
Full weekend of program. And just what you're saying, this year's festival lands on Indigenous Peoples Day. How does that timing elevate the experiences for both Indigenous and non-Indigenous attendees?
I think it's so great that, we're celebrating that day. It's an important day for us culturally, but also just to be able to invite all of our visitors and all Canadians to join on that day of celebration is really important. And so we've really amped it up and, not just a full day of programming, but, a really exciting evening as well.
Yes, and the website everybody needs to get to, as we'll say it a few times through this conversation, because it's going to be super important, is
summersolsticefestivals.ca.
Perfect. Okay. Now, one of my favorite is the International Powwow. It's such a powerful and moving competition that happens on the weekend. Can you share what it means to the community and what visitors can expect from this year's event?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a competition powwow, and it's very much the heart of our event. And it is going all weekend long, so you won't miss it regardless of when you attend. We have grand entries that happen at noon and 6 p.m. on Saturday and noon Sunday. And if you've never attended a powwow, that's something really powerful to watch. So that is how we, ceremoniously open the festivities, and all drums and dancers enter the arena. And it's just a beautiful experience. But the competition does carry on all weekend long. And, for us and our community, powwows are really just a chance to, come together and celebrate and, share and, be with our community. But it's something that I think a lot of visitors learn so much through as well. They learn, how we respect our women and our children and our veterans. And so there's lots of great opportunities that the MC will be introducing what's happening and, why it's important and the different styles of dance. So a really great experience for everyone.
Yes, everyone at home, you have got to see part of it for sure. It is beautiful, right from the beginning to the end. One of the most talked about features is the VIP Indigenous culinary experience. So what can guests look forward to with your two chefs, Trudy Metcalf-Coe and Billy Alexander?
So we're really excited about the tent and the venue at Wesley Clover Parks, because it allowed us to create So the powwow is happening in the Grand Prix field, and they have this beautiful 10,000 square foot hospitality tent that overlooks the field. So we wanted to create kind of an upgraded, elevated Indigenous buffet where people can have a nice table, enjoy a great meal by our chef, Billy Alexander, and there's lots of Indigenous foods. He's been very mindful of food allergies, so there's really something for everyone, kids buffet included. And then Chef Trudy Metcalf-Coe's doing like a live chef station of Arctic ceviche. So she's been up north in Nunavut. So, you know, both chefs love to talk about our food and that connection to land and culture. So it'll be a great experience and, you know, a beautiful place to watch the powwow.
That is fantastic. And we'll get a chance to talk to Trudy later. The nighttime, our skies are going to light up. Tell us what is happening at the festival.
So this is one of the most exciting evenings I think we're able to plan for Indigenous Day. So the powwow will be going on from 6 to 9, but following that we're doing a really fun, you know, where everybody can get up and dance. We call it our glow-in-the-dark dance, powwow dance party. And so we're giving out glow items, and we've got a great Indigenous DJ, Classic Roots, who does kind of like electronic beat powwow music. So it's a lot of fun to get up and dance. And after that, we do basically storytelling in the sky. So there's 250 drones, and we're teaching about the 7 grandfather teachings, but you'll see, you know, bison walking across the sky and eagles flying, and it's just a really beautiful experience. So we hope everyone will join us for that evening.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Another thing that you've done throughout the years of all your festivals is the workshops. They're so popular for all ages, any family members, anyone can do it. What are a few of the ones that you think people will like, and is it easy to take part?
It is. So you can pre-register to make sure that you do have a spot, and any spots open we will be selling on site. But we have a really great variety. So there's things from dream catcher making to, you know, wearable art. We're doing these T-shirts with an Algonquin artist, and she talks a lot about the environment and local culture. We're doing some watercolor painting, birch bark biting, and we're bringing a new artist in that's doing like medicine candles and mists. And so there's really great, you know, all ages have something they can participate and take home with them. And the artists are all really you know, open and teaching about culture while you're there. So it's a really great experience.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to do. The spirit horses. So there's a large element of Indigenous horse culture at Summer Solstice Festival. Tell us a little bit about who we might meet.
Yeah, so we're, you know, one of the things we were really able to do at Medawaki Farm was to incorporate our rare and endangered Ojibwe spirit horses. So we were really fortunate when we found the new venue with Wesley Clover Parks being an equestrian facility that we're able to, you know, even expand on that Indigenous horse culture and connections. So we have ongoing throughout the day meet and greets with our Ojibwe spirit horses, and we're going to share a bit of their history, but we've also invited in a team from out west to introduce Indian relay racing. So this is an Indian relay racer, which is kind of an early extreme sport, and really a great team from Alberta. He's demonstrated it at like Calgary Stampede. So this team is coming in with elders to teach about that Indigenous horse connection. They're doing traditional painting of the horses and teaching what that means. And they're going to demonstrate Indian relay, which is basically where they jump on bareback and do a race. So we hope to eventually move towards a full race, but it'll be a really exciting demonstration.
Very exciting. Trina, I could talk to you all day. We will meet some of our guests coming up in the show, but the event details, everybody be sure it is Wesley Clover Park. All the complete details, venues, schedules are all on summersolsticefestivals.ca. It'll be at the bottom of your screen. Thank you so, so much, and have a lovely festival.
Thank you. Miigwech.
Good.
My uncle Cheney was one of over 150,000 Indigenous children that were taken to residential schools between the 1800s and 1996. My uncle ran away from school wanting to get home to his mom and dad, and sadly he didn't make it and died of exposure. When Gord Downey found out about my late Uncle Cheney's story, he wrote Secret Path, a series of poems that became an album, then a graphic novel, a documentary, and a concert. Gord met my family, and together we formed the Gord Downey and Cheney Winjack Fund. Together, we are sharing Secret Path and other reconciliation resources with legacy schools, setting up legacy spaces across Canada, and hosting events like Secret Path Week to inspire all Canadians to engage in reconciliation. Before he left us, Gord asked us all to do something.
You're gonna figure it out.
Will you join us? Together, we can make Canada a better place.
You will be inspired as you join us for the next hour to give here on Rogers TV. You're going to learn all about people who are experiencing homelessness and how they are supported by the Shepherds of Good Hope.
Welcome back to the show. Every year, Summer Solstice is a chance for everyone to get together and immerse oneself and learn about Indigenous culture and history. Each year, the Summer Solstice Festival is produced on behalf of the National Indigenous Peoples Day Committee, and it comprises of organizations all across the communities across Canada. And each year, one of these partners takes a lead role in presenting the festival and programming which shines community and their culture. And this year's festival is presented by the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples and CAP. So I'm here and honored to be joined today by National Chief Moore of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, who's attending the festival for the first time. Welcome, and welcome to Ottawa. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
I do believe you've been part of this organization since you were born.
Yeah. So my mother she was a single mother. I was raised by a single mother, and she was an integral part of the organization. The organization was really built up with grassroots work. There wasn't always funding like we see today. And so, I remember being a child, sitting in the back of a pickup truck with 12 other kids, going to another community, and all of the mothers taking care of us, cooking supper, entertaining us, but at the same time getting business done and building the organization to the point where it's at today.
And what a wonderful experience that is, because it gave you the opportunity to meet everyone, be part of it, and see how it grew. And now you are the official chief of the organization.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, it was. It wasn't necessarily ambition. I've been a part of the community my whole life. My sister was the chief for 3 terms, and at the end of her tenureship, I became more interested in the organization again. Started going to meetings, and we had some elders who asked me to run to be chief of the New Brunswick Aboriginal Peoples Council, and so I did that, and I became a part of the CAP board. And after a year on the CAP board, the matriarchs from the national organization asked me to run for chief for the national position, and here I am today.
Well, we're super happy to have you. And now you do reside in Ottawa, and this is your first time to the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival. Why do you feel like these gatherings and celebrations are important?
Yeah, I've moved to Ottawa. I'm a full-time resident here since February. I'm enjoying it, establishing myself here, and it's a nice city. These festivals are important because they really bring out, especially the Summer Solstice Festival, it's very diverse. We're going to get to see Métis culture, Inuit culture, First Nation culture, in both the traditional sense, but we're also going to see how Indigenous peoples have evolved in the more contemporary skill sets that Indigenous people have today, like magicians and puppetry, and really excited to see the drone show on the 7 grandfather teachings. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, can you tell viewers a bit about the story of the 7 grandfathers?
Yeah, so the 7 grandfathers, it teaches and it relates to animals and the virtues that specific animals and basically the essence of their spirits, what they provide to us and what they can teach us. And it's very deep and meaningful. And I think anybody who has the opportunity to experience a seven grandfather teaching, I think most people would relate to that as truth.
That's fair, and that brings all the cultures and Indigenous groups together.
Yeah.
For sure. And so CAP's involvement on some of the programming, what will you look forward to there?
Well, like I'm looking forward to actually the whole schedule is amazing, right? Like we've got the Ojibwe spirit horses. I've never been able to experience that. I'm excited about that. Obviously, the grand entry and the drum competition and the dancers is always amazing. You know, I always say I feel the spirit when that stuff happens. You know, when you get goosebumps, and it'd be really nice for everybody to come and experience that, and those people who relate to the culture and get those same goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think it's a really special opportunity.
Definitely.
And then also the culinary part of it. Obviously, Indigenous peoples, we like to feast and
Well, I'm
and
excited that
share
you're
community.
saying all of this, because we have the opportunity to have some of those guests in the studio today, so we'll have an opportunity to give a little sneak peek of what that looks like.
Yeah.
So it's at a new location this year at Wesley Clover Parks.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. It's free for everyone to come in. It's June 21st and 22nd with programming day and night. So summersolsticefestivals.ca is where everyone's going to go to make sure they get this information. Have you had a chance to see some of the vendors or meet any of the performers that will be there this weekend?
I haven't had an opportunity to meet anybody yet, but I'm very excited to meet everybody.
I guess we should go back to why you haven't had a chance to meet everybody. You've been quite busy.
Yeah, you would say that. So, like in the role that I carry, you know, I negotiate with the Crown and the government across the board. So, one day I'll be meeting with Transport Canada, the next day I'll be meeting with the Crown, the next day I'll be meeting with Justice Canada. So I've got a pretty stacked schedule.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's always very heavy stuff. So I'm really excited about actually having the opportunity to take a couple of days and just enjoy our beautiful culture and tradition, and also witness the evolution of Indigenous peoples in Canada and share that with the broader community.
Well, it'd be the right reason why CAP is doing such a great job for the Indigenous culture, and it'll give you more energy to move forward. But you feel like there's a lot of positive feelings in the air.
Oh, no, it's completely positive. I was running through the schedule and everything that's happened, and every time I saw the next thing on the itinerary, it was more and more exciting.
Yeah.
I've got my fiance coming, and she's been asking constantly about what's the dinner, what's all the food, and so we're really excited to try all the different interpretations on Indigenous dishes, and we have an Inuit fusion dish that you're going to see here later on the show today that I'm really excited about trying, and so no, it's really special.
Yeah, Chef Trudy is amazing. She's been a guest of ours many times, so always exciting to have her in studio. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on your position with CAP and all that you're doing for the communities, and really looking forward to seeing you at the festival. And if anybody wants to come and chat with you, where can they find you?
They'll just find me around like they will be. I'm going to be going around the festival, enjoying it like they are.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to chat with me, I'm open to talk to anyone and share a little bit of what I know. There's going to be many knowledge holders there who know much more than me.
Yes.
But I think, everybody should come down and really have the opportunity to really experience the diversity and the Indigenous culture in Canada that we're so fortunate to have.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for sharing that with viewers. Just give everybody an idea. This weekend at Wesley Clover Parks, it's the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival. It's free to enter. There's so much to say, as Chief Moore just mentioned, that there's so much to see, so much to do. So summersolsticefestivals.ca is where you need to go. Plan your trip. There's actual shuttle buses that will get you there. There's also parking involved, but make sure you plan your day. It's a day or two. Take advantage of it all, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I was born and raised in Musqueam First Nation territory by my mother, who spoke Hunkaminam to me. As a child, I ceased using my mother tongue, as to use any language other than English was considered not being Canadian, so I was told. The old people came to me in a dream and reminded me of who I am and where I come from. I have reawakened. My roots are strong, and I'm no longer a silent speaker. My language tells me where I am from. It defines me and guides me to teach others to learn and understand our culture and traditions. A gift for those in the present and the unborn generations. What was lost is found. What was asleep has awakened. My blood is here, and I am complete. I have returned home.
Hi, we're the Biggs and Bar Show from Shea 106.
And we finally got a decent advertising budget for our morning show.
Let's see what our team spent all the money on.
What do you think?
I have some thoughts.
Put it in your ears. The Biggs and Bar Show with Pasty Jamie on Shea 106.
Once upon a time, a young couple inherited a castle.
The bottom floor is the beauty, the floors above are the beast.
Oh my gosh.
Will their fairy tale have a happy ending? Castle Impossible on HGTV.
Welcome back to the show. One of the most talked about features of the Summer Solstice Festival is the VIP Indigenous Culinary Experience. Guests will be treated to an incredible buffet curated by Madauki's Farm's executive chef Billy Alexander under the big tent. But one of the standout highlights is a live interactive Arctic char ceviche station hosted by none other than Chef Trudy Metcalf-Coe, an award-winning Inuk chef. But it doesn't stop there. She is also the former executive chef at Madauki, and she just received in March the King Charles Coronation Award for her commitment to culture and cuisine. And there's over 30,000 nominees, and she is our winner. Welcome to the show, Chef Trudy, and thank you so much for joining us. And let's just first talk about, this is not actually your full-time job, but it is your passion. So what do you do?
I work at Inuktitut Center for Inuit Children, Youth and Families. I've been there for, I gotta do math, I'm not great at math, 10 years. Wow. So there I'm the post-secondary education elder, so working with Inuit students who are in Ottawa for post-secondary education, keeping them connected to culture and community, to support them on their post-secondary education journey.
That's lovely. It's amazing. But your other favorite passion is food and culture. So tell us a bit about what's going to happen at this VIP experience.
My understanding is I've been invited to do the Arctic char ceviche, which is one of my signature dishes, and I'm going to be at a station just, you know, continuously making it, interacting with people who are there for dinner, coming up and talking about anything that they want to talk about when it comes to Inuit culture, cuisine, my experiences, travel in the Arctic, food, just whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've ever had the opportunity to see Chef Trudy in action, you just really need to go to the station or wherever she is, because you could talk to her for quite a bit of a time. So we're just going to give you a sneak peek of what that's going to look like. So bring us through your recipe and all the stories that go along with it.
Okay, so with the Arctic char ceviche, this is what it's going to be featured at the VIP dinner. Usually ceviche is made with like whitefish, scallops, that sort of thing. I was in Costa Rica with my husband a few years ago, and we were on the beach, and then a fisherman came in with some red snapper, and I ordered the ceviche, and it was made with the red snapper that just came in.
Yeah.
And as I'm just sitting there, I was like, oh, I got to do this with Arctic char. So I came home and I did it. Usually with a ceviche, it's like cooking in like a citric acid for 3 or 4 hours. But with Arctic char, because it is so soft and delicate, and we eat it frozen raw anyway. Yes. I only choose to cook it with the citric acid for about 15 minutes to a half hour, because otherwise it will go mushy.
Yes, that's right.
And Arctic char itself is like it's a red fish, It could be pale also, but it's close to the trout, so somewhere in between trout and salmon.
And you're finding it local here, or you're having it?
When I do large events, if I need to bring Arctic char in, I get it from the north because the fishermen are hunting it as importing communities. For a small, but it's also available in Ottawa at fish markets. The fish markets that I get it from, they generally get it from the Arctic waters, so it's the same char that I would order if I need it in short supply, like if I need it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Because if I need to get it out of the north, I sometimes need 4 to 6 weeks, just air travel, making sure there's quantities, that sort of thing. So what I've done is I have this just like cooking in like a lemon juice, and usually I have a bit of honey in here, but I've changed the honey to Akpik jam. So a cloudberry jam, because they're called Akpiks. They're found in Newfoundland, marshy areas. They're found in different areas across the north. So I've switched from honey to Akpik jam, just for a little bit of sweetness, but you'll also taste the flavor a little bit. And otherwise, I use Newfoundland savory because, I mean, I'm part Inuit, I'm part Newfie, I guess, Newfie Inuk.
Yeah. It has a nice ring to it.
It does,
Inuk.
yeah.
Yes.
There would be like salt, pepper, that stuff is all added at the very quickly in the end. You mix it up, and you serve it. Not using salt, I use salted herbs. So this is something that, like when I marinate fish or something, I would marinate it with the salted herbs, and it's just it infuses the fish a little with some different flavors. If I wasn't using this, it could just be salt. But myself, I make my own salts. When I travel up north, I get water from the waters in the area I'm at. So I have. This is a Torngat sea salt because I went to the Torngats in the summers as a chef, made salt while I was there, and then I was in Pang another time. Yeah, so Pangerton sea salt.
I should let everyone know at home, you can reach Trudy, Chef Trudy, through Facebook, but she's generally not in one spot at all. But I do love hearing about all your travels and the time that you spend. Are you finding that you're finding new ingredients each time you're traveling?
Not necessarily new ingredients because you know, it's still the same foods. It's caribou, Arctic char, muskox, polar bear, that sort of thing. But what I'm finding is I'm finding new ingredients here.
Yes.
To do the infusion.
Okay.
So that's more what it is like trying to think about how is this going to taste, how is that going to taste. And I'm one of those fortunate people that I can think about it and I can taste it. And so I can taste things, like I can tell that, okay, the Akpik coulis is going to work, as opposed to having to make it and then taste it. And even just like, you'll just see I'm kind of throwing in quantities here. Like, it's rare that I don't get the quantities right just by
I think that's why you're award-winning. That would be possibly why.
Yeah, and with this, I mean, it's like, I really like the color of this dish, and for summer especially, like it's so pretty. So I'm just adding, like, so I have red onions, mangoes, red peppers, some jalapeno. The jalapeno is not too hot when you take the seeds out. I don't like heat.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is just a smoked paprika. And what I like when people are cooking, I think it's really important for everybody to know to be able to identify everything they've put in.
Yes.
So in a case like this, yes, you're doing, and this is just pepper. Everything you're doing, I want to have a purpose behind it. I want to know it's there. I want to know why it's there.
We probably only have about 2 minutes left. But as you're doing that, you're putting it on top of such a nice setting.
Yeah. So with this, I choose to serve it always with Tostitos chips because they have a little bit of salt to them. And I like the crunch.
Perfect.
The caribou tartare will do it very quickly.
Yeah.
So caribou tartare, I just add avocado oil, red wine vinegar. I do capers, mulched capers. These are my chosen ingredients. Cook for yourself.
Yes.
Right?
But also, if you're a little bit worried, then follow what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then once you try that first taste, you'll know what works for you.
Yes.
What doesn't work for you.
And what your
how to
family
make
likes.
Exactly.
Right? I'm putting thyme, I have capers, I have jalapeno pepper, sorry, excuse me, juniper berries, a Dijon mustard.
I love your juniper berries. Yeah. And where do you find your juniper berries?
I actually got mine from a brewing company. I couldn't find them, but yeah, just juniper berries in beer. So I just bought
you
a
were
whole
able
bunch.
to purchase it just from the brewing company?
I went in and told them what I was doing and asked them if they had any, and they just gave them to me.
Okay, those from home, I'm not sure we're going to have the same the opportunities that Chef Trudy has, but definitely make sure that you're at the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival.
So, and this is
to
just
have that opportunity.
That's it for caribou tartare.
Yeah.
Some people add egg yolk as a binder, or do a quill egg yolk just on top, and I do generally also. But
it's just for a binder.
It's
so
a
it
binder.
Just really is the texture.
Yeah, it's a texture thing.
Yeah.
And I just serve that. I mean, if I'm doing it in an event and there's gluten-free people, it's served with like cucumber slices or celery sticks or something. For non-gluten, then it's like a crostini.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
it. You can make your own. So I think
you've done a wonderful job.
Awesome.
What are you looking forward to with the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival?
I'm just looking forward to being there again, seeing people, the vendors. Like, I'd love to take a little break and wander around and, look at what everybody's making, and just being a part of like such a huge event that celebrates who we are as Indigenous people.
Yes, definitely. And it goes on for 2 days. It's a fabulous event. It is free. There is free parking, but we also have public transit. SummerSolsticeFestivals.ca will give you a long list of everything that's there. And we've made Trudy's Day because we do have 2 of the vendors that will be at the festival and off-site as well, because there's some opportunities in Ottawa if you cannot make it to Wesley Clover Parks, but I really do suggest you do. We didn't get a chance to talk about the full experience, but it is under a big tent with Chef Trudy and Chef Billy Alexander, and while having a seat at the table, there are still tickets available, and it also allows you to see the live powwow and the drone show at in the evening. So SummerSolsticeFestivals.ca. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to see you. I'm glad you've done so well. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be up right next for the next guest.
Heartbeat of Mother Earth, I feel you and embrace your warmth. I see you dancing through the trees. Your song floats on the summer breeze. Community, we come together. We are the voice of our ancestors. Thankful for how much you bless us. Feel the thunder in the drum. All our voices sing as one. Feel the power, feel the pride. Feel the drumbeat deep inside. Feel the boom, feel the bass. Let's let go of time and space. It'll make you dance, it'll make you sing. Ode Wegun, Wedok Wishin. The drum will lead you, take you far. Always remember who you are.
Welcome back to the show. I have to tell you, one of the things I'm very excited about for Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival is the marketplace. There are over 50 vendors, beautiful local artists across Canada coming to one place for the 2-day festival at Wesley Clover Park. You're not going to want to miss it. In fact, if you'd like to, SummerSolsticeFestivals.ca, get an idea of who's going to be there and what's going on. But I did want to introduce you to one of my favorites that's going to be there, and it's Maya Beaudry. I want to let you know Maya Beaudry started Cookham scrunchies when she was 9 years old. So she is at the ripe old age of 14. Welcome, Maya. But she has done so beautifully, and we will just bring you through her journey. So Maya, how and when did you start this business?
I started this in 2019. And originally it was a fundraiser to give back to the youth of my community. And so I wasn't like ever like planning on selling like scrunchies. And so part of my fundraiser, I wanted to put like gifts in it. And so I wanted to like make something. And so I started to make scrunchies because like I love scrunchies.
Yeah.
And so I had like my cookum material.
And how do you find your material?
I find my material, so I have a material maker in Vancouver. And so whenever she releases, you know, like these native designs and all that stuff, I'll like buy them because it's very like important like to me to like, you know, just like uplift like other Indigenous businesses and like support them and incorporate it with mine.
They're beautiful and fantastic, and we will get to them, but I want you to let the viewers know how you came up with the name.
So Cookum in my language means grandmother, because the Cookums would used to wear these scarves displayed on the table right here. And so they would
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and so they would wear it on top of their head when they would work outside. So like their head would be like away from the sun. And so I like found this at the powwow, and so that's where I got the idea where I was gonna make scrunchies. And so yeah.
Okay, so these are beautiful. So can you tell us a bit about the material that you chose right now? Are these some of the ones that we'll see at the festival?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these ones are my XL collection. These
XL, like as in sizing?
Yeah, so these ones are bigger, and they're like my satin one. Because I find because like I'm like a scrunchie business, I want to like make like different types of scrunchies, and like different types of like hair elastics, and so I decided to make like an extra large like satin.
Perfect. Yeah.
So like when I like, you know, go to sleep, like I'll put this in my hair, and then my hair won't be like as like knotted and stuff.
And easy to pull in and pull out. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And so the other ones, are they both all silk as well, or you have different materials?
So I have different materials. Some of them are cotton, some of them are polyester, but most of them are cotton. And so, yeah. If we look here, I have some shoelaces. And
what made you come up with the idea of shoelaces? They're beautiful.
I really wanted, you know, to have like different kinds of shoelaces, you know, not just like one color. And, you know, I like would love to just like put like my like, you know, like print on like something. So then I decided to come up with shoelaces. Like me and my mom were like thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so we like designed it, and so we like made it. And we actually like collaborated with Nike. And so
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So like every time that someone would buy this shoe, they would send a Cookum scrunchies with it.
That is fantastic, and I do love that shoe. That's great. Okay, and you've got some lanyards, and you have ties as well. When did you start your ties?
I think I like started it like maybe a couple years ago, and I kind of just like bring them back like every like Christmas, because we go to a bunch of like we like set up everywhere like in the Christmas time, so it's like it's good for like a Christmas gift, and you know, stuff like that. So now I just like, when it comes to like the summer, it's usually like what I have left from the winter.
Good, and you definitely have lots more than this to bring to the festival. What are you looking forward to with this year's Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival?
I'm just like looking forward to just meeting a bunch of people, you know, like everyone like tells me that they're super like inspired by the business, and like, you know, like I love how like people can just, you know, like come up to me and like tell me that.
Yeah. And then being with everyone else, with all the other vendors. We didn't get a chance to focus on this, but this is, what is in your coloring book?
So basically, it tells you guys like a story basically like about my like business and how I started, and you can color like your pages, and you can like make your own scrunchie, like and we also have stickers at the like back
of some of your designs that you've already done.
Yeah, so we have like stickers of like most of our scrunchies, and then at the like back we have like just like a bunch of like designs and stuff.
So you can do your own. That is fantastic. You have done so well in the 6 years, only 6 years that you've been in business. If you cannot wait for the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival, she does have a vending machine at Bayshore Mall, but please make sure you do go say hi to her at Wesley Clover Parks for the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival, June 21st, 22nd, free at Wesley Clover Parks, day and night, and you'll get a chance to meet Maya Beaudry and these beautiful designs. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chase Nicholas. I am a Mi'kmaq hockey player. Growing up, I always remember my family talking about the Mi'kmaq as the creators of the game of hockey. In grade 7, I did research on Mi'kmaq hockey sticks as the first sticks of the NHL. I found a Mi'kmaq hockey stick made in 1917, the same year the NHL was formed. I was surprised to find out the very stick I was holding was made by my great-great-grandfather, Alexander Cope. In 1934, an elder known as Old Joe Cope wrote a letter to the Halifax Herald claiming the Mi'kmaq created hockey. I found out later that I am a direct descendant of Old Joe Cope. There was a time when Mi'kmaq children were torn from their families and not allowed to speak their language, losing their words and stories. But the stories are coming back to us. Stepping on the ice, I take pride knowing the roots of the game of hockey stem from my ancestors in the Mi'kmaq Nation.
This is Ben Weiss of the Historical Society of Ottawa. Join us for a new series here on Rogers TV, where we explore Ottawa's fascinating history, the people, places, and events that shape the city we live in today. Join us as we go time traveling exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. So I don't know if you know, there have been many celebrations across the city. Some of them you might have taken advantage of, education days at the museum, or some programming at the Ottawa Public Library, or at the NAC Fitness every Tuesday. But one you're not going to want to miss is June 20th at Ottawa. I'm going to have our guests say it properly, but it's a Dowie Wigamig in the heart of our downtown Ottawa in the Byward Market. And here to join us is our guest from the Assembly of Seven Generations, and that is Gabrielle. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Very excited that you're going to have an Indigenous festival and fashion show on June 20th. But before we go there, can you just tell me a little bit about the Assembly of Seven Generations?
Yeah, for sure. So A7G for short is a local nonprofit Indigenous youth organization. We're super grassroots. So a lot of the work we do is like all volunteer based, but we like to do like all kinds of fun things with the youth locally. So we do like a lot of land-based work. We do like ceremonial work, and we do like fun events. Like we have our annual round dance. We started doing a powwow, and then of course on June 20th, like you mentioned, we'll have our big market and fashion show.
Okay, and tell us a bit about this and what Adawi Wigamig means.
For sure. So, like I said, we're like a really small grassroots group, and we're also really selective about where we receive funds from. And so we wanted to think of like a creative way to sustain ourselves. And Adawi Wigamig is kind of how that came to be. So Adawi Wigamig in Algonquin and Ojibwe and many other Indigenous languages means a place of trade or selling.
Okay.
So actually the city of Ottawa, that's where it got its name from, because this location has been a place where Indigenous people have traded and gathered for many generations. And so we really wanted to create this space that really like embodied the spirit of the land. And so we're so grateful to, you know, have this store on unceded and surrendered Algonquin territory. And we're so happy that we have vendors like Cookum Scrunchies, for example, who's a really beautiful young Algonquin vendor at our store. And we have so many other Indigenous vendors from across Turtle Island.
That's amazing. So tell us a little bit about how the day and evening's going to go, and you brought some of your vendors' things in.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off the day at noon, and we actually have 2 stages this year.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a stage right at the Ottawa sign in the Byward Market, and then we're gonna have another stage closer to like the Byward Plaza. And then our runway will be on William Street.
Oh, nice. It's already closed off, so that's perfect and a great place to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And so throughout the day, we're going to have entertainment. We're going to have panels talking about Indigenous fashion. We're going to have food vendors. And this is going to be our biggest market yet. And so we have over 60 vendors.
Okay, so if people are heading downtown, what time should they try to be there for?
I would say noon.
Okay.
And then you can look at our schedule. We also have QR codes up around the market. So if you ever forget what's happening next, you can just scan the QR codes and look on our website. And you can go back and forth between the vendors and the stages and pick up some food. And I brought a bunch of items from some of the vendors that will be there.
Thank you.
So we have over here Roberta Anderson. So Roberta is like this really amazing local cookum that's been doing amazing beadwork. Like this is even a set she did for when I got married.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
So we really love Roberta, and she also has taught all of her daughters and grandchildren how to bead and create. And so just on that other side, I have her daughter Stephanie Anderson, who creates also beautiful.
That's this one
beadwork.
right here.
Yeah,
it is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's like just like a little medallion.
That's beautiful. And these paintings, who's the artist that did this beautiful painting?
Yeah, so this is Wolf and Crow. They're a really beautiful couple. And so the husband is a painter, and he's created this original piece. All his pieces are so beautiful like this. And then the wife is, she does amazing beadwork, and she also does painted rawhide.
So is this what these are here?
Yeah.
Oh
so those
my
are,
gosh,
those are
these
her
are her
designs.
earrings?
And she also made these ones too.
Wow, they're all beautiful.
Yeah, so they make really beautiful things, and like small batches.
Yes.
So
it's like, one of a kind.
It's one of a kind, and once it's gone forever. So we're really excited to have them at our summer solstice event this year.
Well, that's fantastic. So just a few details before we go. Where and when and how should people get involved with the festival?
Oh, before we go there,
please.
I just wanted to give a shout out to one of our designers that'll be in the fashion show.
Okay.
And so just along the front here.
Oh my goodness, I'll just pick one up here.
Yeah.
There we go.
We have Healing Stitches.
Okay.
And so she's made beautiful ribbon skirts, applique work, and she's going to be doing her first collection on a runway.
Oh, that's
this
fantastic.
Year.
And there's so much. We just almost need another show for you to even talk about the beauty of this, because there's so much storytelling within the skirt itself. So the fashion show will be there. So everybody should make sure that they go to your website if you are downtown between noon and and the evening. There are QR codes all around the Byward Market. This is going to be a beautiful celebration just heading into our Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival, which a lot of these artists will be there as well, vendors. But make sure you head downtown. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely and just lovely to see everyone's artwork and creation. Thanks so much, and next guest is coming up.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine, the white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my end and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking. You have no idea where in the world you really are. Wow. No map, no plan, no clue. This is Destination X. Well, this ought to be fun. Oh, it's open. Austria. All you have to do to win is answer one simple question. Where the X am I?
Hundreds of the best dancers and drummers from across North America will be coming to Wesley Clover Parks to take part in the competitive powwow at this year's Summer Solstice Indigenous Festivals. The beauty of it, I can't even explain, so I'm so happy to have our next guest, Stephanie Sarazan, from one of the cultural ambassadors from Adauki Farm. She is going to, with her beautiful regalia, explain all that we need to know. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm great, Julie. Thank you for having us on the show today.
Thank you.
So, a little bit about the powwow, right?
Yes, please, let us know.
Well, we are going to be at Wesley Clover Park for the first time this year. We have lots of parking spaces, and we are ready to open up the doors for all sorts of drummers, dancers, and all of our invited guests to come and partake in some Indigenous culture, learn a bit about our songs, learn a little bit about our dances, learn a little bit about our stories, and some of the traditions that keep our nations together.
And that's exactly what it is. That's what the powwow is. And how does a powwow start? Can you let our viewers at home know sort of how they can engage and understand and also be part of it?
So we're going to be kicking off our powwow with a grand entry at 12 o'clock on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we'll have a second grand entry at 6 o'clock. Now at grand entry what we like to do is we bring in all of our regalias, all of our dancers, all of the flags, all of our veterans. We bring in our elders, we bring in all of our best pieces and our feathers, and we look forward to coming together as a whole, as a unit, and as a nation to dance together, to pray for those that have passed on, to dance for those that have also passed on. It's a way for us to celebrate the time together, the changing of the seasons, and the beginning of powwows for most of us that do travel.
Yes, it's beautiful. And you have your regalia on. Can you explain to viewers what part of the dance you would be?
So the regalia I'm wearing today is what we call a women's fancy shawl, and this style is a bit more of an upbeat style of dance. It's one of the more modern ones, and it came from a time when the women's dances were a lot more stationary and slow. So during the time of the Wild West Buffalo Bill shows, they were looking for something a little bit more fancier, something a little bit more faster. So they ended up coming out with this new style of dance. We have today the ladies' fancy shawl.
It is beautiful. And can you tell us a bit of who the other dancers will be that will come through the powwow?
We're going to have dancers of all sorts, of all ages, sizes, and from all across Canada and possibly even the United States. The different styles that we might have will be like the men's traditional, the men's grass. We have men's fancy dancers. We also have a couple of chicken dancers in the area. We also have women's style of jingle dancing. We have women's traditional, women's fancy shawl, such as what I'm wearing. And if I'm not mistaken, we may have a few hoop dancers in the area.
I would like to, I'd like to talk about a few things. So the powwow is also a chance to pass culture teachings to future generations. And how is that done through the powwow?
Well, many of us, when we get together, we don't get to see a lot of our, as we call it, extended or our powwow family all year round. So these are the times when we get together and we get to share stories. We get to share a little bit, a couple of dance moves here and there. We get to share in the crafts that we've been working on all winter long. We also get to partake in different ceremonies that happen that kind of tie us together closer as families.
Mm-hmm. And there's an MC that does take care of the entire powwow?
Yes, we do have an MC. He kind of keeps the whole show rolling.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let you know when you can dance, when you can partake, when it's best to stand and be respectful and remove your hats. They kind of keep you posted all day long. So it is best to hear them.
It's definitely best to hear them. And I think it is, I have been there at the starting of the ceremony, and honestly, there's not a soul that's speaking because it is so beautiful. Everyone does come together as communities, as families. And what's your favorite part of the powwow?
Probably that same moment, grand entry and being able to stand together with all of our relatives and be able to pray in that same circle with the elders that are leading us in a good way.
Yeah, and you've been part of Madauki Farm Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival for many years. I've had the opportunity to meet you many, many years ago. What are your favorite elements of this festival?
My favorite elements of this festival is actually it wraps up our busy May and our busy June, but then I get to see all of the youth and what they've been working on all year round. Kind of get to see the new regalias coming out and the happy faces. It's the end of the school year, so for a lot of people it's kind of kicking off summer, and I think that's my favorite part about all of it.
Yeah, it's lovely. And how long have you been dancing in the powwow?
Oh man, you don't ask ladies those questions.
I'm so sorry. See, that's why you're always teaching me something.
I have been dancing in the powwow circle.
Since you were?
Since I was maybe 2-3 years old. As soon as I could start moving, my auntie passed me down one of my cousin's regalias and hasn't stopped me since.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you to show us your beautiful dance. Thank you so much, Steph, for providing that for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just going to bring you back in here. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. I'm going to hand that back. I know you're catching your breath, but I do want to say the colors, the regalia, everything that you share with us in Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival. We are so appreciative. For everyone at home that has an opportunity, please go to summersolsticefestivals.ca. Make sure you take in this beautiful festival. It's 2 days at Wesley Clover Parks. Everything you need to know, the competitive powwow, the drone show, the culinary experience. There's so much more, all the vendors. It is a community event, and it just brings people, culture, and everyone together. Thank you very much.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Karen. I'm here with my best friends Shane and Monique. Join us on Rogers TV for Fitness Faction. Every week we're going to take you through a full body workout. We've got strength training, we've got cardio, we've got HIIT. Ladies, let's get back into it.
I think we've got 10 more skaters. Let's go.
In baseball, there's nothing more important than making